right, here we are for concept quiz number 3. So what we need to do here is multiply A times C. So 7 times 6 is equal to 42. And now we need the factors of 42 that add to 23. So 1 and 42, 2 and 21. There we go. So write this as 7x squared plus 2x plus 21x plus 6. Now we're going to group them together so that we can factor by grouping. So we take out what's common here, and all that we have in common is an x, so we get 7x plus 2. In this next set, we have a 3 that is common, so we'll factor out a positive 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7x. 6 divided by 3 is a plus 2. You know you're on the right track when you get the 7x plus 2 and 7x plus 2. So now we take the x, take the plus 3, we put them together, x plus 3, put the 7x plus 2 together, and now we set them equal to 0, just like we did last week. And we solve. So you're going to get here that x is equal to a negative 3. And here we do a little more work. We get 7x equal to negative 2. Divide by 7. So our answer here is negative 3 comma negative 2/7. This one, find the factors or multiply 2 times a negative 6, which is going to give you a negative 12. We need the factors of a negative 12 that add to a negative 1. We have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and then 3 and 4. There's your combination that works. So we say 2x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 6 equals 0. Group the first two terms, group the last two terms. Factor out what's in common, so we take out the x, leaving us with 2x plus 3. Here I'm going to take out what's common, which is a negative 2. So minus 2 times negative 4 divided by negative 2 is a positive 2x. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a plus 3. And then we group together the x and the negative 2. X minus 2 times 2x plus 3. Set both pieces equal to 0. And solve. Subtract 3, 2x equal to negative 3. So our final answer is 2 comma negative 3/2. All right, this one here is a special case. This is a perfect trinomial square. So we want to see, I see 25, I see 64. So that means I'm going to have the square root of 25, which is 5, and the square root of 64, which is 8. We're going to take that minus sign right there, bring it down, write the quantity squared, and that's equal to 0. Since this is the same thing twice, we only have to write it once, so 5x minus 8 is equal to 0. Add 8 to both sides. 5x is equal to 8. Divide by 5. And x is equal to 8/5. And there's only one answer for that one. This one here is a difference of squares. 4 is a perfect square. 9 is a perfect square. We're taking the difference. So here we want to take the square root of 4, which is 2x. Square root of 9 is a 3. The thing with this, so we lost our b term, which means we need this, and then we need to write 2x minus 3 because we need that b term to cancel out. So we solve both of them by setting them each equal to 0. Subtract 3. Divide by 2. This one we're going to add 3. And divide by 2. So our answer is a negative 3/2 comma positive 3/2. All right, on the back side. All right, what we want to do here is bring the 12 over because it must be equal to 0. So we subtract 98x squared minus 32 equals 0. Let's try factoring out what goes into both of those. Let's try factoring out what do we want to take out? Let's try taking out a 2, see if 2 helps us. So 2 times 9 divided by 2 is 4, carry the 1. 18 divided by 2 is 9, so 49x squared. And then 32 divided by 2 is minus 16, which is something pretty nice here. We have a difference of squares. So the 2, we can divide that out. Square root of 49 is 7x. Square root of 16 plus 4. And then 7x minus 4 is equal to 0. Set both pieces equal to 0. And solve. Don't forget to divide by the 7, and don't forget to bring your negative signs along for the ride. So we have a negative 4/7 and a positive 4/7. This one here, let's add 8 to both sides. So you get 25x squared plus 35x plus 10 is equal to 0. I see that I have a 5 in common, so I'm going to factor out a 5. Leaving me with 5x squared plus 7x plus 2, which is a little bit nicer to solve. So I divide out the 5. Find the factors of, we'll do 5 times 2 here to give us 10. Factors of 10 that add to 7. 1 and 10, 2 and 5. So 5x squared plus 2x plus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0. Let's group the first 2 terms together, group the second 2 terms together, take out what's common, which is an x. So we have 5x plus 2. The only thing they have in common here is a 1. So 5x plus 2 is equal to 0. Take together that x and the plus 1, and that 5x plus 2. And then if we solve that, we get that x is equal to negative 1 or a negative 2/5. And last but not least, we know here that if this is a perfect square trinomial, that middle, that b term is equal to 2 times your a times your c. All right, a squared is 25, which means a is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Divide by 10. C is equal to 4. So c squared is equal to 16, which means we then, if we factor that, we have 5x plus 4, the quantity squared equals to 0. And then that means that your final answer is negative 4/5.